Samurai Kaizen presents
Software Engineering Vocabulary. API, Application Programming Interface. It's a set of protocols, tools, and definitions that allow different software applications to communicate with each other. Array, a data structure that stores a collection of elements. Each one of them is identified by an index or code. Authentication, process used for verifying the identity of an user or a process. Front end, the client side of a web application that directly interacts with the user, including design and user interface. Back end, the server side of a web application or software responsible for managing data, logic, and communication with the client side. Backup, it's a copy of data files or an entire system that is stored separately from the original, used to restore the original in case of data loss, corruption, or hardware failure. Bug, an error, defect, or fail of a program or system that produces an incorrect or unexpected result. Just a really interesting historic fact is that the very first bug was actually a bug found in one of those old computers that manage mechanical items, and it was discovered by Grace Hopper, which is the one that appears in the photo, whom also was the first person to debug a system, which is the process of finding and correcting errors in the software's code. And she also invented the compiler. Such an amazing person. A compiler is a program that translates written source code from a programming language into machine language. Source code, the human-readable set of instructions written in a programming language that defines how a program or software operates. It must be compiled or interpreted to run on a computer. Database is an organized collection of data stored that are electronically accessed. Framework, it's a software platform that provides a structural basis where applications are built. IDE, Integrated Development Environment. It's a software development environment that provides tools for writing, debugging, and testing software. Library is a collection of precompiled resources that programs can employ to develop software. OOP, Object-Oriented Programming. It's a programming paradigm where they're based on the concept of objects, which can contain data and code. Open source, it's a software whose source code is publicly available for anyone to use, modify, and distribute. Query, it's a request of information from a database. Repository, it's a centralized location where a project's source code is stored and managed. Script, it's a short program that runs without the need for compilation. Syntax, it's a set of rules that define the right structure on the instructions in a programming language. Version control, it's a system that records changes to source code over time, allowing the management of different versions. Now here comes a quick quiz. What's the main difference between front end and back end? Well, front end is a client-facing part of a web application, which focuses on design, user interface, and interaction. It uses technologies like HTML, CSS, and JavaScript to ensure users can view and interact with the app. While the backend is the server side, where handling with applications logic, database interactions, and server configuration is actually implied. It uses languages like Python, PHP, or Node.js to process requests and deliver data to the front end. Well, here are some definitions as compiler, database, repository, library, and API. Relate which should be the right definition for each of these words. Pause the video and take a time in order to organize which definition should correspond to which word. Got it? This is the right answers. So this is Samurai Kaizen. Stay tuned for more videos. There will be more videos in regards to technical English, in regards to many other fields, especially with programming. Samurai Kaizen.